Hello, I am Chylli from channel Chylli, also known as Chai, and we are back with more depersonalization here. Wait for it to load here and we can finally get into our next module here. And yeah, this is the first one I'm actually doing completely blind, so I have no idea what's going on in here. An eerie murder intertwines past and future, ensnaring you at the vortex's core, where 5 suspects beckon you into a deeper nightmare. Proud to miss the hushed whispers of the silent church, the lurking malevolence in the distillery cellar, the bizarre life of the lady at the flower shop, the shadows of sin and fire at Pomegranate Alley under Night's Shroud, and the encroaching madness in the ancient streets of Cursenday. Compounded by the avarice gleaming in the cultist's eyes and the encroaching darkness from the abyss, you have unwittingly unmarked the gates to calamity. Running away is perhaps your wisest choice. On the other hand, staying in Cursenday, a town ensnared in the vortex of time, will unfurl your sealed fate in its ultimate black carnival of ancient days. As you approach the gate, an unsettling sensation grips you. The world around you begins to twist and contort unnaturally, as though reality itself is bending. A crushing pressure envelops you, squeezing the air from your lungs. What's going on? The suffocating unnatural distortion sears through your mind, but just as suddenly as it began, the sensation vanishes. Nearby, a Forgamon seems unfazed, engrossed in one of her games, as though nothing at all has happened. As always, you find yourself turning to Sothoth. You know what just happened, Sothoth? Sothoth looks up, her hand pressing against her forehead. Something did happen. I can't believe she dared to tamper with my memories, even here. She begins to explain what happened. Checkmate. Sothoth places a white piece upon the chessboard, her victory inevitable. An impressive display. Alas, I've prepared no token of victory for you. But you see, my delight lies not in winning, it resides in the game itself. Is that so? Then perhaps the collapse of an era is nothing more than a game to you. Yet I wonder, what is it that you truly value? You and a Forgamon. You both fixate upon the outcome, the binary of victory and defeat, as though it were all that mattered. I cherish the journey itself, the unfolding possibilities within each move. What could be more captivating than that? Are you implying your actions were merely for amusement? Not quite, you misunderstand me. You only see fragments of the grander design. To remain rooted, awaiting the conclusion, is to deny yourself the essence of the game. But consider this. What if you and I were not players, but the very pieces upon the board? Wouldn't the game be far more fascinating? As her words linger in the air, a key appears on the board. You've tampered with the rules. Of course, you know me too well. Now it's my turn. Yar seizes her black piece, her hand poised to claim the key. But just as her hand descends, sorry about that. I clicked off because I had to mute to sneeze, so then I clicked back on and skipped the text there. A rewind, classic you. No matter how hard you try to twist things, the ending is inevitable. It will come as all endings must. Perhaps. But in my eyes, the most compelling act has only just begun. If you'll pardon me, I must attend to a few preparations before our delightful game continues. Until then, my dear friend. With those words, the mysterious woman leaves. With curiosity sparked by the event, you venture to ask the question lingering in her mind. Who is she exactly? I can't reveal that to you now, Starkey. I have a strong sense that you two are destined to meet during this journey. It said Nyar, right? So is that supposed to be Nyarlathotep? And knowing her would complicate things? Precisely, she bends the rules to her will. And rules are intrinsically tied to knowledge. To gain knowledge of her is to cloud your mind, making you vulnerable. You notice a rare expression crossing Sotha's face. Puzzlement. Darky, this journey will be arduous for you. I will manifest several companions within this timeline to aid you. They will assist you in rewriting history. However, remember this. Rewinding time exacts a toll on your willpower. It may serve you in moments of peril, but overuse will weaken you. Be deliberate, tread carefully, and safeguard your strengths. Do not rush blindly, proceed with caution, and reach the end with care. I see. The gate is now open. Go there now. Alright, let's see what we're... Wait a minute, I wanted to do something, but I completely forgot to do it. I meant to click return to home, not that, but okay, we'll deal with that. I wanted to change out Luca's gift here for something else. Maybe we'll give madness there. Alright, now we're ready to get into it here. Late December 2003. As Christmas approaches, the streets are livelier than ever. People bustle about with carefully wrapped gifts, eagerly discussing their plans for Christmas Eve. The excitement and joy in the air are so palpable that even the white puffs of breath exhaled into the chilly air seems to take on the festive red hue from the glow of the neon lights. At this very moment, you are sitting at the table in your apartment, reading a text message on your cell phone. It's from your best friend Bruno, whom you haven't seen in years. The sudden message surprises you and puzzles you, considering how little contact you'd have over the years. Was your last exchange on the Christmas Eve last year? No, perhaps even longer. Once you and Bruno founded a detective agency that specialized in mysterious incidents. Together you solved many bizarre cases and made a great team. Unfortunately, financial pressures forced your agency to close down. After parting ways with you, Bruno returned to his hometown, Cursenday. You heard he eventually became a police officer, a job that wouldn't pose a challenge for him at all. However, you now receive a text message from him asking for help. I need your help. Please come to Cursenday as soon as possible and I'll fill you in with more details in person. You know in your heart that Bruno doesn't ask for help easily unless he's in some serious trouble. Something he couldn't handle on his own. Without delay, you take a brief inventory of your belongings and board the train to Cursenday. There are not too many travelers on the train, perhaps because Cursenday is a remote town unknown to many. Okay, picked up some coins underneath the table there. Sorry, for some reason I just was completely blanking out there. A woman enters the compartment, glancing around before fixing her gaze upon you. Then she sits down across from you as if it were completely natural. Good day, traveler. I trust you did not mind me joining you. No, of course not. Glad to hear that. It's a long journey, and the presence of a fellow traveler is far preferable to sitting alone with a vacant seat. After all, it is the company that truly enriches the journey, wouldn't you agree? With that, the woman takes out a book and starts reading. Meanwhile, the train slowly begins to move. Soon, the train takes you out of the city, traveling through jungles and mountains. As you watch the fleeting scenery from the window, you begin to feel drowsy. When you open your eyes again, you notice a chessboard on the table. The woman across from you has put down her book and is now gazing at you while gently twirling a pawn piece between her fingers. Slumbering on a train can be quite the fascinating experience. One's body and mind transition seamlessly between dreams and reality, leaving passengers often unaware of the landscapes they traverse. You attempt to clear the fog from your mind, struggling to regain your senses. Just as she said, you have no recollection of what has happened in your previous dream. Evening is approaching and the landscape outside the window is becoming increasingly indistinct. You don't seem to be heading home or out for sightseeing. May I inquire as to the reason for your journey? Well, a friend of mine seems to be in a bit of trouble. So naturally, I'm going over to lend a hand. I see. Upon hearing your words, a curious and slightly exaggerated, excited expression appears on the woman's face. Oh, it's something of an adventure then. Before you can respond, she gestures towards the chessboard and continues. We still have some time before we reach our destination. Simply sitting here idly would diminish the excitement of the journey. How about a quick game? The woman places the pawn piece she was holding in front of you. You glance at the board, realizing that you are playing white while she is playing black. She rests her chin on her hand, gracefully extending an invitation. Please, go ahead. I hope you find enjoyment in this game. And of course, in myth, adventure. You look down at the lifeless chess piece on the table, each intricately carved. Whether it is a pawn, knight, or king, each piece stands menacingly or majestically. At this moment, the chess pieces on both sides seem to be glaring at each other, poised for battle. How exquisite. As you pick up a pawn piece and advance it forward, the piece suddenly turns its head and gazes into your eyes. The chess piece seems to be trying to say something. At that moment, a muffled whisper accompanied by a ringing in your ears fills your head. Your vision gradually becomes disoriented and hazy. With the sound of the train's whistle, you awaken once again. The compartment is now empty. As you wake up, you slowly start to feel calmer. Was it just a dream? The train arrives at the platform in Cursenday in the late evening. As you get ready to leave the compartment, you feel your mind clouded. You have a vague sensation that you've forgotten something, but you can't quite pinpoint what it is. Gradually, this unexplained memory lapse turns into a thread of unease, spreading into the corners of your mind. Wow, my sanity is really low right now. Found an old lighter. This is a newspaper from 1997. It appears to have been left behind by a previous passenger. Recently, a mysterious murder took place in the spa in the Peninsula Hotel, Chicago. According to the police reports, the victim was discovered by a room attendant when the with the autopsy indicating that the murder occurred over 3 days ago. The victim's room contained various religious ritual items. Although the police has not disclosed further details, rumors suggest the victim has strong ties to a peculiar cult that may have been a radical believer. The case is still under investigation. An unnamed police officer mentioned strange occurrences at the crime scene with that hindered the evidence search. The train gradually stops at the platform, releasing a thick cloud of grimy steam. Disembarking, you wave the steam away with your hand to clear the path ahead. Through the falling snow, a familiar figure approaches on the nearby deserted platform. It's been quite a while. No troubles on your journey, I hope. The man before you appears notably aged compared to your memories. His face marked with exhaustion and a hint of helplessness. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a drink really quickly. Your former partner seems to have lost his inner peace over something. Perhaps he's been losing sleep over it for a long time. Yeah, I've been doing okay. As for you? Well, you've already figured it out, haven't you? Even if I say, yeah, everything's fine, it wouldn't be very convincing, I'm afraid. After our agency disbanded, I came back to Cursenday. I thought I could settle down here for good, but this new job turned out to be even more tiring than before. You asked me to come to Cursenday as soon as possible. There's something urgent happening here. Well, it's a bit complicated. Bruno glances at his cell phone to check the time, emitting a soft sigh. Follow me, I'll take you to the crime scene. Once we arrive, I'll fill you in with more details. Oi, Bruno, here's your stuff. A stout elderly man walks out of the room. Disheveled with unkempt hair, his face is half covered by a thick beard and his attire is smudged with dirt and hay. Oh, finally, coming! Sorry, but just wait a second. I'll go get the box, I'll come back shortly. A chilling gust of wind and snow sweeps by. Perhaps this is Cursenday's unique way of welcoming visitors with a shiver. It's freezing here, let's move around a bit. And there we go, we're finally able to move here. Or well, I guess he could move before on the train, but it's a bit different here. And there we go, let's save our game really quickly here. The vending machine's glass container is frosted, making it hard to see the products inside. Perhaps due to a lack of maintenance, most items have been sold out, with only a few unidentifiable items left in the top 2 rows. Let's see what we can buy here. A piece of bread and a drink there. are stopped by a fence behind which rows of containers stretch out before you. The extensive array of supplies elicits a sigh at the sheer quantity. No wonder why they say that those controlling the transportation control the lifeblood of the economy. As you open the distribution box, a faint metallic scent assaults your nostrils. Amidst a subtle electrical hum, you notice an organized row of circuit breakers and fuses, each switch labeled to indicate the area and devices it controls. Is this a repair kit? You find a small toolbox at the bottom of the distribution box, clearly meant for emergency repairs. This poster advertises a Christmas event. Predominantly red with a cheerful Santa Claus at the center, it captures the holiday spirit. Gift offerings with Christmas purchases. Unfortunately, the campaign has ended. This place and its people are entirely unfamiliar to me. I should stick with Bruno. As you enter the room, you see the elderly man presenting a box to Bruno, who accepts it and offers a cigar in gratitude. Thank you, pal. Merry Christmas. Noticing your presence, Bruno puts the box in his pocket and introduces you to the elderly man. This is Harlan, our long-standing station master, who's been working here for over 40 years. Brave in Cursenday in this weather, kiddo? You exchange a glance with Bruno. He does not want you to disclose his request to others, so you're not in agreement with Harlan's words. Yeah, you can say that. Could you tell me more about the interesting places in Cursenday? Interesting? Been in Cursenday for ages, and interesting ain't the word for it. If I ever did tours, I'd be lucky to get a handful of customers a year. Well, grab a drink from the table if you want to warm up. Saying that, Harlan points to the cups on his table. A large box labeled Lost and Found overflows with assorted questions. Perhaps I can find something useful inside. You ask Harlan if you can use the items inside the box, and Harlan nods in approval. Sure, just take some random stuff. Take whatever you fancy. And check the box if you don't need it. After an extended search through the box, you successfully find a few intact items. Okay, the presence of the black dagger here is really interesting. The trophies adorning the walls continue to convey an eerie sense of vitality. A peculiar deer head with antlers wrapped in dry, sharp thorns intrigues you. You can feel the sharp edges of the thorns, even as you gently touch them with your fingers. Meanwhile, a recent handprint on the antlers catches your attention as you prepare to examine it more closely. Boy, planning to get yourself strung up as part of my collection. You inadvertently irritate Harlan by touching the trophy without his permission. You quickly retract your hand and apologize to him. Positioned above the bed is a shotgun. Upon examining the shotgun, you notice that it's been meticulously maintained. That's indeed a remarkable shotgun. You hunt often, Harlan? Hunting? Yeah, that's old news for me ever since I took on this keeper gig. But man, with all these troublemakers showing up in town, I gotta keep this trusty old gun around to keep myself safe. I arrived in a rush and didn't bring any weapons. Would you consider selling this gun to me? Upon hearing your words, Helen appears lost in thought, his head bowed, wondering whether to accept your request. Wow, only a 51% chance here. Kinda met a trade with a total stranger. Kinda brings up thoughts of a pal. You observe as Harlan retrieves a new shotgun from beneath his bed. Thanks for liking my shotgun, but I can't let go of my old buddy. Here, take this instead. Okay, so we got ourselves a shotgun there. The rumpled quilt and disheveled bed suggests a tumultuous nightmare from the previous night. There's a pungent scent in the cup beyond the aroma of coffee. As soon as the brown liquor enters your throat, you realize the source of the pungent scent. It is a cup of Irish coffee with a whiskey as an ingredient. As you gulp the liquor down, the blend of the alcoholic taste and mellow flavor transforms into a delightful energy coursing throughout your body. After a few moments, you feel yourself warmed up and energized once more. Harlan sniffs and smirks as he observes how much you're savoring the coffee he made. Isn't mixing alcohol and coffee like not a very good idea? I know people have died from mixing alcohol with energy drinks, so I assume that's probably the same thing. Got your stuff already? A Christmas gift, maybe? Upon hearing your question, Bruno suddenly tenses up, his gaze shifts to the side with a slightly evasive look. Been bugging me every few days about this stuff. What did you end up grabbing? Yielding to you and Harlan's curiosity, Bruno hesitantly takes out the package. You notice the label on the box, which reads Sherman's Jewelry. Looking at your friend in front of you, it's hard to connect this man who used to be shy even around female clients to a romantic individual who spends jewelry as a Christmas present. Harlan, standing beside you, transitions from his previous serious expression to a smile in his eyes. Who would have guessed that an unromantic piece of wood like you would sprout mushrooms? That gal's got more skills than I ever imagined. Under your teasing gaze, Bruno's expression turns somewhat embarrassed. He delicately raises his right hand to his mouth and clears his throat. Let's skip that topic for now. I'll head out and get the car warmed up. It might take a bit for the heat to work. Why don't you stay here for a bit? I'll be waiting outside for you. Boy, kiddo, you're here about the Bruno's case, right? Here's a tip. If you want to make it out of Cursenday in one piece, don't go stirring up trouble with anyone, rich or poor. And if you're thinking about helping Bruno, just hit this one out. I don't quite get it. Harlan ignores your question and smokes a cigarette to himself. Harlan ignores you and smokes a cigarette to himself. Let me see if I can get this here. Listen up, kiddo. Winters here are bone-chilling. Hang around for a bit, then make your way back. Nothing's gonna go down with Bruno. Jumping in to help him will just steer you straight into trouble. Alright, I figured we might get a little bit more dialogue out of him there. The car is parked outside. Let's leave now. With Bruno at the wheel, the car navigates through the streets of Cursenday at a moderate pace. The neon lights hanging from the eaves of the houses, the faint gospel tunes in the background, and the mistletoe adorning the car serve as reminders of the Christmas spirit in this town. It is late at night and passers-by hasten their return home, yearning for reunions and the comfort of their warm blankets. At this moment, Cursenday seems no different from any other tranquil town enveloped in a peaceful atmosphere. While we're on the way, seated beside you, Bruno exhales slowly and begins to brief you. Let me quickly brief you on the case so we can start our investigation once we get on the crime scene. With that, he starts introducing the suspicious case that requires your assistance. I'm reaching out to you because this case is quite the challenge. On December 22nd, 2003, there was a murder at Reindeer Pub. The victim was a black woman in her mid-20s, found without any ID. According to witnesses, she walked into the pub hall wrapped only in a blanket, screaming for help. She said someone had attempted to trap her in a storage room and kill her. Then she went to the restroom, and after a few minutes, the pub owner and others found her dead inside. Oddly enough, on December 22nd, 2002, exactly a year earlier, the police were called to an underground freezer in Haradier Hotel. There they found another naked black woman's body with no signs of harm or identification. To be honest, I've been investigating the earlier case for a while but hit a dead end. Now we've got a similar murder case with a black female victim found naked in a freezer. These parallels hint at a possible link between the two cases. I don't think I can crack these cases on my own, so I need your help. While you contemplate the details Brennan shared, the car stops in front of a store. The sign reads Sandra's Hut. Is this the crime scene? No, not yet. I've got something to do here. Just wait for a second, I'll be back shortly. Alright, let's take a look around here now. You notice a warning post with a cautionary message painted on it. Public fiber optic cable, unauthorized excavation prohibited. Bruno's police car reflects his meticulous nature, boasting a spotless exterior and interior. You notice a folder sticking out from the driver's side door. Inside the folder are numerous files, document copies, and case reports alongside an evidence bag containing a folding knife. Many of the files bear a stamp indicating closure and archiving. Why is Bruno investigating so many cases at one time? Shouldn't evidence be stored in the police station's evidence room? Why is he carrying these files with him? Wow, this is quite a wide area here. A note is attached to the phone dial. You pick it up and find it's written in a child's handwriting. Dear Santa, could you do me a favor and give my math teacher, Miss Lacey, a call? She's piled on so much homework that now I can't enjoy Christmas Eve. The phone number is scribbled next to a drawing of a crying face. You dial the number on the note and soon a woman answers. Hello, how can I help you? Is that Miss Lacey? Yes, speaking. Who's calling? Please don't overwhelm those kids with tons of homework. They deserve a breather, not a holiday swamped with assignments. Are you a parent of one of my students? I don't know how to answer this question here. Nonsense, our principal passed away last week. Miss Lacey hangs up. The barber shop is closed as its business hours have ended. The billboard reads White's Clockworks with an additional sign indicating it's currently closed for business. The room has been unoccupied for quite some time. Through the partially open curtains, you notice the disheveled interior. The wooden sign indicates the way ahead, reading Old Cursenday Street. Another sign points right to Newsed Street. Newsed Street. Numerous gift boxes are placed under a festively adorned Christmas tree. Most of these boxes are empty, serving as mere ornaments. Wait, there's a real gift box sitting there. Among the decorative boxes, your attention is drawn to a paper-wrapped one. Upon examination, it feels unusually light in your hand. Yeah, who would leave a precious thing lying around like this? With a hint of disappointment, you unwrap the gift. To your amazement, inside lies a golden clover accompanied by a note. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a great fortune forever. Thank you so much, mysterious Christmas sprite. Or, I'm sorry, did that say spirit? Road Reconstruction Project, December 20th, 2002. Promote urban development in Cursenday, we are set to renovate the old streets. This renovation project encompasses widening the streets to accommodate increased traffic flow and rectifying sewer drainage issues within the old street vicinity. April 15th, 2003. The road reconstruction project will officially commence on June 15th, 2003. Throughout the construction phase, we are committed to minimalizing noise disruptions and ensuring seamless utility arrangements to facilitate smooth progression. Originally scheduled to commence on June 15, 2003, the road reconstruction project has been rescheduled to begin on July 15, 2003. Owing to detailed assessment requirements. Further adjustments to the timeline are underway, with the revised start date set to be promptly disclosed. Due to a scheduling conflict with the ongoing construction of Pomegranate Alley, the road reconstruction project for the old streets has been postponed to August 15th, 2003. Collaborative efforts with pertinent departments are underway to finalize a revised reconstruction plan. Detailed updates will be promptly communicated to residents and relevant. Due to unforeseen challenges, the road reconstruction project has been temporarily put on hold. Further information regarding its resumption will be shared following the completion of the assignment phase. We extend our gratitude for all the understanding and support of the residents. Can't believe the road reconstruction is suspended. Are there really that many complexities behind this project? Voices emanate from the room, and through the window you see Bruno engrossed in conversation with a woman. You approach the window and clearly hear their conversation inside the shop. You look exhausted. Why not stay here for the night? I'd love to, but it's not often that all the suspects are willing to gather like they are now. If I miss this shot, it's gone for good. I see, but lately I've been having these nightmares, Bruno. And most of them are about you. I saw something awful happening to you. Can't you just drop the case? I'm sorry, but solving this case is his dying wish. This is the last time, I swear. And this... Outside the window, you see Bruno taking something out of his pocket and presenting it to the woman. Bruno, you really mean it? Absolutely. Once this case wraps up, let's get married. Through the window, you see two blurred figures embrace each other. The voices inside the house fall silent. Now that's truly something. You're overjoyed that Bruno has found his true love. As you walk into the store, you see Bruno kissing a woman. Guessing your presence, Bruno immediately lets go of the woman in his arms and takes a step back, looking embarrassed. Sorry, did you wait for a long time? The woman beside Bruno gives you a warm smile. I'm Sandra, you must be Bruno's friend, right? I've heard a lot about you from Bruno, must have been quite the trek coming all this way. I'm sorry if I interrupted you. With that, you cast a playful stare at Bruno, who is scratching his head in embarrassment. I'm just swinging by to buy some stuff from this grocery store. Of course, besides the basics, I've got snacks and drinks, too. Sandra then looks at Bruno. Don't you intend to prepare some food for your friend? Oh, right, I'm getting it right away. Bruno quickly grabs the snacks prepared by Sandra. I'm sorry, I completely missed that dialogue there. How far back do you and Bruno go, Sandra? Well, it's been a while. Back then, Bruno had just returned to Cursenday and was a patrolman for the police station. As for me, I was intending to buy this little shop with my savings. It was because of this shop that we got to know each other. Because of the shop? Yeah, the original owner was a real piece of work. He suddenly raised the price just as we were about to seal the deal. He knew I'd invested a lot into this place already. He said he had some connections with the gang and threatened to keep my deposit if I didn't accept the new price. All the neighbors were warning me off. That was when Bruno stepped in. He got wind of the deal and strolled right over to us in the shop. Sandra then imitates Bruno's usual serious expression and tone. Sir, I see you're selling processed foods, but the cleanliness standards here are unsatisfactory. Failing to meet hygiene codes can mean fines, losing your license, and more penalties. Plus, I noticed tons of flammable items stacked up, but your fire safety measures are subpar. You might be forced to fix it up or face fines. In addition, I just heard you signed a contract. The finalization, execution, modifications, and termination of the contract must be mutually agreed upon. If broken unilaterally, you could end up liable for breaches and damages. He's amused by your own mimicry. In the end, the owner couldn't stand his stern talk and slashed the price by 50%. Later, my neighbor mentioned the shop was really only worth a third of that at the time. But hey, it's water under the bridge now. If you ever need anything, just let me know. Let's see what we can do here. Just as you're about to leave, Sandra stops you. I know this might come off as a bit sudden, but could you do me a favor? At this moment, Sandra's expression turns serious and earnest. You realize that she must have something important to say. Sure thing, what's up? It's about Bruno. Please, keep him safe. He's facing grave danger now. But Bruno is a police officer here in Cursenday. What kind of threat could put him in danger? Looking worriedly at Bruno, who is already in the car, Sandra speaks slowly. Well, things have been getting rough in Cursenday these years. Rumors have been swirling among my customers. They talk about these unsolved cases, saying the police can't solve them because the culprits aren't human at all. They speak of monsters lurking here in Cursenday. They masquerade as humans at night, targeting people who are alone. I warned Bruno about it, but he's too stubborn to heed these baseless rumors, not in the slightest. Well, that's the Bruno I know. As she discusses the topic, you notice her eyes dim. I know these rumors might be groundless, but we can't just take them lightly. Now he's investigating the recent murder case, and I fear for his safety. That's why I'm asking you to... I might be new to Cursenday and not know all the ins and outs. I trust your judgment. I'll do everything I can to keep Bruno safe. Thank you for believing in me. Just be cautious during your investigation. This town may not be as safe as it seems. At that moment, the car horn sounds. Looks like Bruno is calling you. Whenever you have a moment, do swing by my store. Yeah, catch you later. What took you so long? Learning a few juicy secrets between you, of course. Alright, enough with the jest. Let's focus on this investigation at hand. Brenna starts the car and soon you arrive at Reindeer Pub. Inside the cozy pub, the aroma of beer mixed with tobacco creates a unique atmosphere that invites you to relax. The pub is quiet, with several customers sitting in small groups, either drinking quietly or observing newcomers. The cozy ambience and the country music playing make it hard to connect this setting to the brutal murder that occurred 3 days ago. Brenna scans the customers in the pub and discreetly points out 5 individuals, indicating that they are connected to the murder. That's Philip, an eyewitness who's currently unemployed. According to him, the suspect, Marcel, was the only one who went into the restroom before the murder. He alerted the bartender about Marcel and assisted in capturing him. Simon is our second suspect, an outsider with a clean record. He had some disputes with the victim before the murder took place. Ben has ties to the local game. I'm including him as a suspect due to his unique social standing. Adolf is a mysterious character, and I don't have much information about him. All I know is that he frequents the upscale crowd in Cursenday. Since he was present during the murder, I thought it was wise to bring him in to ensure we don't overlook any leads. And then there's Marcel, our current main suspect. He used to work at Cursenday Winery before it shut down. Now he's jobless and has a clean record. He was seen entering the restroom when the murder happened, but our tests didn't find any blood on him. Are you gathering them because you're worried you might have missed something crucial? Yeah, actually, we were on staff back when the murder happened. And we kind of rushed through the interrogation process. That caused a lot of many omissions and errors in questioning. Additionally, the higher-ups didn't focus much on this case. As a result, most of them were released on bail quickly. That's why I brought everyone here today. We need more information from them. To be honest, I called them in under my own name. This isn't exactly following our standard procedures. So this interview is more like a casual chat than a serious interrogation. Please ask them nicely so we don't end in trouble with them. Sure, I know what to do. Bruno hands you the evidence bag he's been carrying. Just call me if you need my support or information. Alright, let me save the game here really quickly again. And that's where we're gonna end this video of depersonalization. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time while we continue on in Cursenday. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!